What is going on, everybody? It's Giants Nick back here with another video in the third day and the third team prediction. Like I said, I'm going division by division, team by team, and now I am going to continue in the NFC East, and we're going to go, before I say who we're going to go with, remember, like the video, sub to the channel, because the more subs, the more videos I want to do, the more content I can get out for you guys, the more information that you can learn, all right? So, there we go. So, the team I'm going to do next, Dallas Cowboys. So the Dallas Cowboys had a very interesting year last year because, to begin, I see the image of CeeDee Lamb, who is an absolute animal. Dallas's offense was elite. Dak Prescott, before getting injured, was on pace for 6,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, which is absurd. Absolutely absurd. But Dallas's defense was pretty bad. And I think they did a lot in this offseason where we should be pretty excited about Dallas, especially if you're a Cowboy fan. I think Dallas could win a lot of games this year. It all depends on, how Dan Quinn and the defense shape out, but they're getting more and more talented every day. And personally, I'm excited to see what they could be. I have family that are Cowboy fans, and, they reiterate to me some of the stuff that I believe. I really think Dallas could put a team in the, the NFC has 3 teams they could potentially throw in the playoffs this year. I really think so. Dallas has an absolute elite offense stemming from the wide receivers and running back Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup, along with Blake Jarwin coming back and everyone's favorite Dalton Schultz. So let's get into the free agency. First off, they got DeMonte Kazee. I thought this was a nice signing for them. Dallas hasn't really had a free safety or a strong safety since Barry Church was in the building, and that was years ago. They really have struggled at the safety position, and I think the fact is I just think they're going to be better this year. I think they're going to have a more solid following. I think they're going to have a much stronger defensive backfield. I think the NFC East is going to be tough, but I think Dallas can hang with them. I think Prescott over the last 2 years has shown he's able to pass at an elite level, and we'll get more into him. But Kazee got a 1-year deal, and it looks like he's going to be back with Dan Quinn. Should be interesting to see. So the offensive line, this is kind of a Dak Prescott and offensive line appreciation right here. So Dak Prescott's ankle looks like it healed up real well. It should be good as new, just like normal, and there really shouldn't be any worries on that front. But the offensive line. So the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, they did a great job this offseason. They kept the group together, of course, but La'el Collins and Tyron Smith took pay cuts in order to remain with the team. They both took pay cuts so the Cowboys could get the help they needed on defense. And it doesn't hurt that these are some of the most elite offensive linemen in the NFL. So I definitely think they did a really good job of shoring up the line, keeping the line together, but also being able to manage the money. I think Jerry Jones deserves the props there. And, that money helped them get under the salary cap for Prescott's contract because Prescott got paid. He got paid an average of, I believe, $38 million a year. That's a lot of money. And Prescott deserves a lot of money. That much money, I don't know, but he was playing at an absurd level last year before he got injured, and it was very clear. And this is really what got him the contract. It was very clear once he went out and Andy Dalton went in, because Andy Dalton was an insurance policy in case Prescott held out of the season, that they need him. They need Dak Prescott. That is without a doubt in my mind. They need Dak Prescott. So it is really, really cool and really great that he got the contract and he got to stay with the team. Keanu Neal, they signed Keanu Neal, and I love this signing for many reasons. One, Keanu Neal's a good, strong safety. I believe he won Defensive Player of the Year his rookie year. He's a good player, very good player. Important to remember about Keanu Neal is he's a big dude, a lot of tackles, hard-hitting, very strong. And the Cowboys expect him to play a safety hybrid, but a lot of outside linebacker. And with this system, it might work. They may have the 3 best linebackers in the NFL. If you have Jalen Smith, LVE, and Keanu Neal, there's a lot of ground to cover. Jalen Smith covers a lot of ground. LVE is a great tackler, and Keanu Neal can do both. So I really, really am excited to see what these guys can do at these positions. I think it should be really, really they might be dynamic. If Dan Quinn does this right, they could be a really, really dynamic football team. So back to Prescott. Elliott looks like he's healthy. I talked to a bunch of Cowboy fans and people who read up on the Cowboys a lot, and they say they would expect Elliott to be in way better shape than he was last year. They expect him. They expect him to know that this is really, even though it's not a contract year, it's a contract year for him. And if he doesn't play at a high level, he will be replaced. I think he's starting to realize that. And it's really important that he does realize that, because Dallas is paying him a lot of money, and last year he was frankly not good. Okay, we're just gonna put it like it is. He was not good last year. As soon as the offensive line struggled a little bit, he struggled big time. And don't give me he has no offensive line. We've seen players with no offensive line play well. Saquon Barkley had 2,000 scrimmage yards against one of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen. I mean, Christian McCaffrey does it all, and his line is maybe average at best. I understand Elliott needs. I understand every running back needs blocking, but you can't. There's no more excuse for this. Ezekiel Elliott needs a better line. They're all hurt. There's no excuse for that, because I've seen running backs do it all the time, but their line's not very good. And they play good ball. All right, the Vikings' O-line is not very good. Frankly, they're not. They're okay. And Dalvin Cook every year plays like a baller, whether healthy or whether not. So it's time for Elliott. It's time to see what Elliott can be like. It's time to see what Elliott can do. And I'm really not sure how he's going to be able to do it, but we will see. I honestly expect him to come into camp in great shape and ready to ball out. So I'm going to give you the schedule. We're going to start from the top. So like I said in previous videos, I'm going to give each of the NFC East teams a 1-1 outside of Philly. I think, I think there's a chance that Philly goes 0-6 in the division, possibly 1-5. But yeah, so let's get into it. I'm giving the home teams wins usually for the division games. I'm going to give the Giants a win. Cowboys win against the Giants. Cowboys win against the Eagles. And then we'll get into some of the other teams. I'm going to give them a loss against Arizona. I think Arizona did so much in this offseason where we should all be afraid of Arizona. Arizona looks like a good ball club. Next is the Raiders. I think the Raiders are they're weird. They're a weird team, man. I said in the last two videos, I don't get signing a running back and losing your top 3 offensive linemen makes no sense to me. It's like counterproductive. Washington, again, a 1-1. I give them a win here. Washington pretty much dominated last year without Dak Prescott, and it was clear in both those games that if the Cowboys had a serviceable quarterback not named Andy Dalton, I think they might have been able to win those games. Give them a win against Broncos. I've been very clear about how I feel about Drew Lock. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's a good player, and I think Dallas is going to go all over them. This is a bold one here. And I put them a loss against Atlanta because last year Atlanta almost beat them. And I think Atlanta does a lot of stuff right that Dallas does wrong. I believe that Atlanta's going to get over their blowing leads and being a bad team. I do. I think eventually they're going to get over it. I just think they do a lot of things well that Dallas is poor at, and I think they can exploit them again. They did last year. Dallas just blew the game. Next is Carolina. I'll give them a win against Carolina. Carolina's defense looks to be shaping up, getting better, but I still think this game will be a shootout between both these teams. And I think possibly what Dallas did on defense might make them better than the Panthers at this point. I'm giving them a loss against Tampa. It's the same thing. What Tampa does well, Dallas does poorly. Dallas does not play very good coverages, man or zone. They struggle in both. And it doesn't matter what it is, the Buccaneers will tear you up. And especially zone coverage. The Cowboys don't do very well in zone coverage. Their zone schemes last year. We'll see what Dan Quinn does, but I think Tampa Bay might shred them. I'm still, like I said, I'm on the Saints train. I think the Saints might still be a very good ball club. We will see what they do with the quarterback situation and how early or late they figure it out, because it's also important to remember how the Saints will depend on what point in the season, because I think they're going to have an idea of what they want by week 5. And weeks 1 through 4, they might be kind of trying different things out. So we're going to have to see it with them. Chargers, I give a win. The Chargers do a lot of the same things that the Cowboys do. They pass elite on offense, and they crumble late in games on defense. But I will say Dallas has the better quarterback, the better running back, the better wide receiver core, the better offensive line. They have, that's really it. I mean, their whole offensive groups are all better. And I think, as much as I think Herbert's going to make a huge step this year, I also would not be surprised if they do struggle to get on track with a new system. Kansas City's a loss. I don't have anybody in the East beating the Chiefs. The Chiefs just do well what Dallas does. What the Chiefs do well is what Dallas does well. Let me put it that way. Dallas does a great job of running the ball, chewing the clock, and being able to throw over the top of your head. But Kansas City, Kansas City will score in a millisecond, right? And you're gonna have that Dallas offense back on the field all the time. And if Dallas can stay on the field, Dallas is the one team I think will really beat the Chiefs. If the Dallas offense can stay on the field to run the ball, they will beat the Chiefs. If they can run the ball, I'm not sure if they will, because I know the Chiefs' pass defense outside of the Super Bowl was very good last year. Tyrann Mathieu, Javarius Ward, L'Jarius Sneed, they've done a great job in the secondary, and I was very impressed, even though they did struggle last year. I'm giving them a loss to Minnesota. They should not have beat Minnesota last year, but they did. The Vikings, I feel like the Vikings next year are kind of going to be out for blood. I think they're really disappointed in the way these last few seasons have went, and I think a healthy Dalvin Cook this year will bring them closer and closer to the playoffs. Kirk Cousins, I believe, will play at a higher level as Justin Jefferson gets better and better and better. Thielen stays the way he is. They did lose Rudolph, a red zone threat, but Irv Smith Jr. has actually emerged as a good tight end. So we'll see how they do. Again, 1-1s with the division opponents. I did that here, and I have them sweeping Washington. So that's the Dallas Cowboys. That's their season. I have them at 8-8. They kind of got a raw deal with the Cardinals finishing in third place. I think that's kind of a raw deal because the Cardinals are a good team. They are, and I think the Vikings are going to get their revenge this year. But that's really my Dallas prediction. I would be really excited if I'm a Cowboy fan. I think they did a lot in this offseason to make themselves, be able to compete in the division. I think they can compete with the Giants. They can compete with Washington. We'll get into Philly's the next video I'm going to do. I think Philly's terrible. I think they might be like 4-12, and I think them trading for these draft picks might help them a lot next year. But that is all for this video. Again, like the vid, sub to the channel. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun to make these because I get to share a lot of the things that I know that a lot of people don't, and I could share some opinions and analysis. Comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you think. Thank you for watching, and make sure to sub to the channel. Thank you.